In the darkest part of everybody's mind is a little corner where we hide memories. Memories of regret, of embarrassment, of guilt. These are the memories that are so painful to think about that you've blocked them out and pretended like they don't exist. Now, most of the time, that plan works out okay. Until something reminds you. Maybe you drive by a particular place, maybe you hear a name, maybe you hear a song on the radio, and when one of those memories is triggered, you cringe. You hate yourself for what you did. You can't believe that you were that dumb or that ignorant or that naive, but the fact is, you were, and you can't seem to forgive yourself for that. It feels like there's no solution. You can't turn back time and change things. So you deal with it the only way you know how. You suppress that memory. And look, you're not alone. Everybody does this. It's how we cope with regret. Maybe early in your life, you were a bit careless about your money. You bought a lot of things you couldn't afford, you put it on the credit card, and you thought, I'll figure it out later. But today, you suffer because of it. You can't afford the things that you need or want because you're in debt. And it's gonna take a long time to pay off. You know this is going to be your financial situation for a long time, and you hate it. It's suffocating. Or maybe you wasted years of your life drinking and partying instead of focusing on your career. At the time, all you cared about was having fun. You didn't care about tomorrow because you wanted to live in the moment. Now that phase is over, but because you spent so long not taking your life seriously, you have no idea where to go or what to do with yourself. All your friends have steady careers that make them happy, but you have no direction. You are years behind everybody else. Or maybe you were in a relationship with somebody who didn't treat you well. They constantly promised you that things would get better. And because you loved them so much, you believed them. You didn't think at the time that you were being naive, you thought you were being loving and forgiving. But the relationship never got better. And now you resent yourself for wasting years with somebody who didn't deserve it. You think about how much life would be better right now if you had just left sooner. Or maybe it was the opposite. Maybe you were the person who treated someone else poorly and they broke up with you. You don't even blame them. You know that you deserved it. You lost the love of your life and it's completely your fault. Since then, you haven't been able to find anyone who even comes close to measuring up. And now, you obsess about how perfect your life would have been if you weren't such a jerk. These aren't just mistakes. These are deep, painful regrets that make you hate yourself because it forces you to imagine what could have been. If you hadn't wasted all that money, you wouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck right now. If you hadn't stayed in a toxic relationship for so long, you wouldn't be looking for love so late in life while all your friends are getting married and having kids. If you hadn't been such a big douchebag, your partner wouldn't have left you and maybe today you'd have a beautiful life with beautiful kids. But the reality is, despite how much we hate ourselves for making these mistakes, we probably couldn't have done any better at the time. Hindsight is 20/20. The truth is, we were dumb back then. So with that in mind, let me propose to you a challenge. What if you thought about all of those negative experiences in a new light? One where those mistakes aren't a bad thing at all. Here's how I think about it. Those experiences that you regret most, they're just life's tuition. See, in college, you pay a tuition to get a degree to show employers that you have the skills necessary to succeed at a job. But in life, you pay a tuition to learn valuable lessons that make you a better person. And instead of paying with money like you do in college, you're paying with pain, with disappointment, with regret. Now, you can look back on these payments and feel sorry for yourself, or you can look back on these payments and recognize that you can actually get something back in return. If you allow it, these payments that you made can help you become a stronger person, a smarter person, a more loving person. Every terrible, annoying, and frustrating mistake you've made in the past, every single deep regret that still pains you to this day, those are all just you paying life's tuition. The fact that you were financially irresponsible in your 20s is tuition. Because of that experience, you can now be smarter about how you save and how you spend. The fact that you spent too long in a toxic relationship is tuition. Because of that, you can now set healthy boundaries and look for red flags. The fact that you treated somebody else poorly is tuition. Because of that experience, you can now treat the people you care about with the love that they deserve. And look, when you pay a tuition like this, it's not easy. It's painful. Now, you can take that pain and hold a grudge against yourself or somebody else who has wronged you, or you can use that pain to grow. Rather than looking back at these experiences with just anger and regret, give yourself permission to forgive yourself. You don't need to keep beating yourself up over it your whole life. You don't need to let it keep haunting you. Instead, choose to appreciate these experiences that you had, no matter how painful they were, because all of those experiences were just tuition. Every time you pay life's tuition, you can grow as a person. You can become better than what you were before. That isn't something to hate yourself for. That's something to be proud of. So go explore that deep, dark space in your minds, that place where you suppress all your negative memories, all of your regrets in life. But this time, instead of feeling regret, forgive yourself, because those experiences are just life's tuition.